I don't like to judge people for what they like, but I will 100% judge someone for what they hate and how loud they hate it. So, for our tier list, it's my first tier list. We're going to do this real quick. It is... Fuck, you're not supposed to see that. Shit. God damn it. Fuck. 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 Shit. Fuck. 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 Okay, this is embarrassing. I'm sorry. You guys weren't supposed to see this. Here it is, right? Okay, well... anyway, how insufferable are the haters? It's a tier list. So I have about 20 different franchises here. They range from movies to video games to anime to TV shows. And we're going to find out just where they go on the insufferability tier list. Now, there are a few different tiers that I want to go over before we really get into it, so I'm going to do that right now. At the very bottom, we have Yeah, This Tracks. If you hate this, I mean, honestly, I don't blame you at all. I don't think you're insufferable at all. You are 100% right to hate this thing. I would say I'm with you on this one. The next tier you could probably be in, it's called the It's Not That Deep Dog chill tier. This is the stuff where, like, yeah, I guess it makes sense to dislike, but I just don't see why you're going so hard about it. The next tier is, are you sure you just don't hate its fans? Some pieces of art are really great, but their fan base kind of sucks, and that can really turn people off. But what really annoys me personally is when somebody hates something just because of the fans. Contrarian troglodyte tier. This is just when you hate something because it's popular. There's a certain air people carry about themselves when they don't like a popular thing. And to be honest, it's really annoying. And we're gonna lay this to waste today. Next category, sheeple. You only hate this because everyone else hates it. And I get it can feel like you're being left out if you like something other people hate, but you cannot let what other people hate dictate how you feel about something, especially when it comes to hating something. Insufferable. So it's kind of a combination of everything before. Maybe you're just like a sheeple, maybe you're a contrarian. The way you carry yourself about it, nobody wants to talk to you. Nobody wants to be around you. I don't want to talk to you. I just... No. Holy fuck, go outside. I believe, what do the kids say? The kids say touch grass. That's what this tier list is. Go touch grass, because what are you doing? Why are you doing this to yourself? It's fucking entertainment. Okay, we can be critical of it without just making it our entire lives. Okay, I'm doing a lot of this because I'm Italian. I'm allowed to talk with my hands. So the first one I got here is Bleach. I am going to put them, honestly, in the contrarian tier. And Bleach kind of occupies a weird space in the big three where, like, a lot of people will be like, oh, well, Bleach is a big three. Blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. It's really good. Like, I'm not even that far into it, and I'm already really liking it. I know a lot of people like to say Bleach is mid. Like, maybe it's not as iconic as, say, Naruto or One Piece or any of the OG animes, but it still very much earns its place there. And I think if you're just hating on it, you just want to hate on the lesser-known thing. DC universe. DC cinematic universe. I'm going to say my own personal opinion of some movies. As someone who creates myself, I'm going to acknowledge that people put a lot of work into these. So I respect the amount of work they put into it. A lot of people who work into production get jobs, especially on big stuff like these movies. So it's okay that they exist. I don't like how superhero movies have swallowed up everything, and I'll be talking about that more later. But as it stands, I'm okay with all of this stuff getting made. And the reason I'm prefacing this is because I'm going to say some negative things about the DC universe. Man of Steel, I saw that one. Wasn't the biggest fan of it. Suicide Squad, the first one, has a bad reputation. Batman vs. Superman doesn't have a great reputation. The Whedon cut of Justice League, not a great reputation. They don't make the greatest movies. I just don't really see what warrants its hatred. The real problem comes with the fans. Now, the fans are kind of like, they're going to war, and they are going to preserve the majesty that is DC. And it's just like, what are we doing? Next up, we have Dragon Ball Z, which I'm going to put in the same exact tier. I don't think the fans of Dragon Ball Z are as annoying as DC fans, but a lot of them seem to think that just because a character you like can beat someone in a fight, that makes them a good character. I don't care how many people Goku can beat. Does he have depth? I don't know, because I actually don't watch Dragon Ball Z, but people seem to think that that is the pinnacle of good character design. It would be really easy to not like the franchise because of its fans. But again, like, yeah, it's just people charging up for fights, but come on. We all know what we're getting into with Dragon Ball Z. It doesn't have to be high art. The Elder Scrolls. Now, if you hate the Elder Scrolls, people keep switching between hating Skyrim and loving Skyrim seemingly every day. They might not be the best designed games. They might have problems. Bethesda might have pulled some bullshit in the past few years. A lot of people want to agree with what they think the internet says. And the internet keeps changing its mind about Elder Scrolls games every day. So I'm putting them in the sheeple tier, because if you hate these games, I think you're kind of wasting your time, to be perfectly honest. Even if these games aren't amazing, they're fine. This is where I'm going to start pissing off some people. If you hate Fortnite, you're just insufferable. You are between the ages of 15 and 18, and you just don't like that kids have fun. Why can't kids just have fun? Why can't kids have fun? Yeah, sure. They might have a predatory battle pass system, but a lot of other games have predatory battle pass systems, and you don't hate them nearly as much. I play Apex Legends. I've seen the way they sell shit. It's god-awful. I played Halo Infinite. I've seen their battle pass. It's god-awful. Fortnite will still get more toxicity for that. Older people like me probably shit on the things you like. Did you like it? No. Did it stop you? No. Just calm the fuck down. Okay, we can all just enjoy our things. Okay? People are gonna get really mad at this one, but Game of Thrones. I'm putting you in the insufferable tier. Saying that you're insufferable for hating Game of Thrones is not the same as saying Game of Thrones is good. Because Game of Thrones very much fell off. It very much earned all the ire towards it, but I have a very complicated take on Game of Thrones. First 4 seasons are great. Season 5 comes along. The quality kind of dips. It's in this weird space where the moment it starts going downhill is the moment it becomes a cultural thing. So it attracts a lot of viewers from a lot of different places, and a lot of people just sort of watch it because it's the popular thing. Then season 7 happens, and it's very clear the creators of the show don't even care about that anymore. And that goes into season 8. But that means we have like 3.5 seasons so far where we all as a fandom agree the show really isn't up to snuff. So by the time we get to season 8, I think a lot of us don't actually care about the show. We just want to see how it ends. I know from my personal experience, I liked a lot of the characters, but I just didn't really care about the story anymore. So then it ends. And people are still mad about this. But at the same time, what are we actually mad about? Are we mad that the show let us down, or are we mad that the show just did the thing that we knew it was going to do deep down, which is keep us disappointed, and as it has been disappointing us for 4 years now, 5 years now. I understand that we all love this show a lot, but we just need to move on. We gotta move on. It's okay that the thing you loved fell off, and it hurts. It always hurts when something you love falls off, but it's okay. You can let go. You don't have to be precious about your art. And Game of Thrones haters, I don't think have realized that. So that's why you are in the insufferable tier. I'm just genuinely saying you don't have to be this way. I get you're angry, but it doesn't have to be like that. I don't understand why you would hate Halo. Like, yeah, the new Battle Pass system kind of sucks, but the gameplay is really good. And, like, the old games are all really good. You know, I'm a millennial, so we all grew up playing Halo. Halo's a good franchise. It's got some problems right now, but I personally think gameplay-wise it's in a pretty solid spot, and I always enjoy it when I play it. Jojo's Bizarre Adventures. Why do you hate this show? There's literally no reason to. It just needs the gay people to fight, and you have it. Oh, but Christian, Jojo's Bizarre Adventures doesn't get good until part 3. That's fucking bullshit. Part 1 is the only reason its biggest villain is so iconic. And part 2 gets done dirty by the fandom a lot. Part 2 slaps. Honestly, part 3 was my least favorite part, and that still had some really good episodes in it. You're either a jackass or you love Jojo. There's no middle ground here. What are we doing? All right, League of Legends. Yeah, it tracks. People who don't play League of Legends don't like it. No one has fun. The pros don't have fun. The casuals don't have fun. Maybe the commentators have fun, but I bet you they wish they were in a less toxic community. Yeah, League of Legends, I get it. Lord of the Rings, the original trilogy. This is the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. I'm going to put you in contrarian. Lord of the Rings is how you do epic storytelling and put it to film. Just like full stop. Even its flaws are great. Like, I get it. Sometimes it's long, sometimes it's not your thing. So I can understand not liking it. But the people who actively hate it and make a thing out of hating it, you're wasting your time. Don't just be... Don't just be this jackass. Alright, next up we have Marvel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's never a Marvel movie that is straight up atrocious. On the flip side, I don't think there's a Marvel movie that is straight up amazing. But if you hate it, I think you just hate its fans more than you actually hate the franchise. Because there are some good movies in here. Yeah, it's all samey and there's too much of it, but it still has good stuff. I get we like to make fun of Marvel fans for needing quips and everything, but again, that's a problem with the fans. And you can be annoyed that the movies do that. There are other movies that don't do that, and you can just watch that. Now for an anime I have not seen a single frame of. My Hero Academia. Look, just knowing what I know about their fan base, people probably just hate its fans. From what I understand, the show has some like legitimate problems. It doesn't seem like something that deep to actually hate. Next up, we got Minecraft. If you hate Minecraft, you know, I'm putting you in the insufferable tier. First off, if you hate Minecraft, you're like the people who hate Fortnite, only you are 10 years too late. 2011, 2013, that was when you hated Minecraft because kids played it. This probably means you're my age and you still think you're superior to people who are like 21 or 22. These guys are out here building Minecraft empires. They're mining all those diamonds and shit, and you're over here being like, oh, I don't play a kid's game, but I'm a little bitch. Yeah, you are a little bitch. Shut the fuck up. Next up, we have Naruto. Honestly, I think I'm going to put Naruto in the contrarian tier. I've seen maybe 10 minutes of it in my entire life. But if you don't like Naruto because there's a lot of filler, I kind of get that, but you can still make good content out of filler episodes. If you're one of those people that likes to walk around calling Naruto mid and that other anime is better, I think you just decided you didn't want to like Naruto so you could have a different opinion. What are you doing with your life? There are better things you can be doing. Rounding out the big three, we have One Piece. Now, One Piece, I'm going to put in the it's not that deep dog chill category. And Naruto is 1,000 episodes. That is a daunting task for anyone. And if you didn't want to continue watching this, I would get it. I've seen a decent amount. Like, maybe you don't like how the women's tits get bigger and their waists get smaller as the show goes on. There are definitely valid reasons to critique One Piece, to not like it, to straight up hate it. There are more important things to hate. Let's just be honest here. First, holy fuck, go outside moment. Pokemon. I'm also on TikTok. When I want to juke up my algorithm activity, when I want to boost my interactivity, I just say anything about Pokemon. Preferably something positive. Because what's going to happen is the haters will come out in full force no matter what. And they will yell at you, and they will put all those comments in, and that will circulate my video around so I get more views, more likes, more comments, and more followers. You know what? I liked Sword and Shield. I don't think it's a bad game. Does it need work? Yes. But do I hate it? No. And just the act of me saying that will drive at least 500 people to start writing comments in this TikTok that I'm going to post of this about it. And you know what? Please do. I thrive off of your hatred. I can't make people happy. I can only make them mad. So I'm going to say positive things about Pokemon. Because you people need to go the fuck outside. You people need to really look at how you view your relationship with Pokemon. I understand you loved it as a kid. But I don't care no matter what the game is. It's not the way you remembered it. I personally was disappointed by the OG Ruby and Sapphire. And I bet a lot of kids today, they're playing Diamond and Pearl, the originals, and just being like, man, this is good, but it's not as good as I remember. Because unfortunately, Game Freak, they do kind of constrain themselves sometimes. I'm hoping Arceus can break the cycle. You don't hate Pokemon. You're just mad that it's not the thing that you loved as a kid. And a lot of people can put way too much stock into what they loved as a kid. I let go of my childhood affection for it, and I came back as an adult, and I ended up discovering a lot of things I loved about it that I wouldn't have as a kid. And then the kid inside me ended up liking a lot of this too. Spend some time in the grass, then come back, boot up a Pokemon game, really learn about what makes it special, because for all its flaws, it really has something powerful at its core. I love Pokemon, and it will always have a special place in my heart. And if you hate it, you're a little bitch. Next up, we have the Hobbit Trilogy. And I'm going to put this in the It Tracks tier. Now, this isn't to say that the Hobbit movies are the worst movies ever made, but maybe they just could have made Hobbit movies and not made Lord of the Rings prequel movies. It's not like Star Wars prequels level of messing it up. There's just something about the Hobbit movies that feel very corporate. And it's not like The Hobbit diminishes Lord of the Rings or anything, but it just feels like a pale attempt at trying to recapture that. Next up, we have The Last of Us. It feels kind of unfair listing The Last of Us as a franchise that people hate, because there's really only one franchise entry in this list of The Last of Us that people hate, but it's enough to put them in the insufferable tier. And again, this goes a lot to why certain people watch certain stories. It's okay if you don't like the direction The Last of Us 2 went, because this is what it's about, right? It's about the people who hate The Last of Us 2. It's okay if you don't like the direction it went. If you're a tolerable person who watches media for the right reasons, you'll just think, here are my criticisms. I personally don't think this was for me, but I'm going to move on. But there are still people to this day who hate this game without having even played it. So to the people that hate The Last of Us 2, I've said this on TikTok before, and when you see this clip again, I'm going to say it again. Joel had it coming. I don't blame Abby for doing what she did. I'm kind of more on Abby's side by the end of the game than I am Ellie's. Revenge isn't going to make you feel better. It's not. The whole game that builds up to that moment you guys complain about, that's what makes it work. I get that maybe we can have some problems with execution of this story, but really, Joel isn't a good person. Did I empathize with him? Absolutely. Good character development. But again, we cannot be precious about our art. We must accept when the characters we love get what's coming to them. And that is why you are insufferable if you don't like The Last of Us Part 2. How insufferable are you for hating each of the Star Wars trilogies? The original trilogy. If you hate the original trilogy, you're a contrarian troglodyte. It's just, why the fuck do you hate the original trilogy? You don't have to love the original Star Wars trilogy, and it's not even like the original trilogy is perfect. It's not like they're secretly bad. Star Wars is very much a fantastic and maybe even a perfect portrayal of the hero's journey. And Empire Strikes Back is still the best Star Wars movie to this day. It's okay not to like Star Wars. It's certainly not for everyone. The people who don't like it, I get 100%. But let's just be honest here. Some people. The prequel trilogy, on the other hand, and I'm going to piss off Gen Z, but it honestly kind of tracks. It kind of tracks. I'm sorry. I'll give you Revenge of the Sith. I do not like the front half of Revenge of the Sith, but in that back half, you really feel that Darth Vader turn. It's still got the same problems that all the other movies, that all the other prequels do, but it's good. The Phantom Menace is not good. Attack of the Clones is not good. I like that they were going for something different, but honestly, to me, it just fell flat on its face. I think George Lucas should have had more reining in. He should have listened to his collaborators more. Or more importantly, his collaborators shouldn't have been afraid to tell him no so much. Phantom Menace came out when I was 8, and I still didn't like Jar Jar Binks. The pod racing scene in The Phantom Menace, that's 15 minutes. Qui-Gon tells Anakin to use the Force in the pod racing scene, right before he goes pod racing. So you think, Anakin's got to do some pod racing. Maybe he'll learn how to use the Force to win. That would actually be a really good parallel to A New Hope, where Luke is flying his X-Wing, he uses the Force to find the thing he's got to shoot in the Death Star. So you figure, yes, that'd be great. Anakin finds the Force for the first time. He doesn't! We just watched 15 minutes of pod racing, so he wins his freedom. Why does that take 15 minutes for us to watch? Why did George Lucas care so much about this? I fucking hate the pod racing sequence. Oh my god, these movies. Oh! In Attack of the Clones, you know, Hayden Christensen, he's trying his best. Just the dialogue in that, like, you can't make that dialogue work. I'm sorry. Natalie Portman's trying her best. Ewan McGregor, you know, everyone loves Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan. He handles the material well. He knows what he's doing. It does do some good things about hinting towards Anakin's darkness, but maybe I'm just a millennial. Maybe the older generation will surpass me, but the prequels, I just get it if you hate them. Now for the thing that's gonna piss everyone off, but if you hate the sequels, you need to go outside. Now stay with me for a second, because I have a lot of problems with the sequels. You know, you look at stuff like The Force Awakens, you look at Rogue One, there's a lot of callbacks to old movies, but it's not really developing its own identity. But if I'm criticizing all the sequels so much, why am I telling people to go outside? Well, because this is the problem with the Star Wars fandom as a whole. They don't necessarily hate the movies. They just hate the things that weren't around during their childhood. We give the fandom something that just calls back to the original trilogy. And they're like, oh no, this is just the original trilogy. We don't like it. So then you have The Last Jedi, which honestly, I really like The Last Jedi. You know, not a perfect movie, but it got me interested in Star Wars as an adult, which no other piece of Star Wars property has been able to do. And what happens? The fandom gets more mad than when we give them, like, throwback stuff that annoys them. There is no pleasing the Star Wars fandom. I think that's already been pretty much said. But the people who hate the sequels, I honestly think it's like I said at the beginning of this presentation. People who hate the sequels just jump on the hatred because they want to feel included in the fandom. There's a lot of criticisms to be made about the movies, even the genuinely great ones, but they're not critiquing it for the right reasons. They just hate that the franchise is not giving them the power fantasy that they associated with Star Wars. Because nobody put a gun to your head and made you watch Star Wars. Nobody made you fall in love with that. That was all on you. Nobody said to make it your identity. No one. If you don't like the sequels, you gotta go outside. And when you go outside, it'll be like Luke going into that tree in Dagobah and really finding just his true self and discovering, wow, so this is why I hate the things I hate. I need to change as a person. That's it. That is my presentation. If you openly hate these franchises, this is how insufferable you are. Just to recap, the stuff that makes absolute sense: League of Legends, the Hobbit Trilogy, the prequel trilogy. The stuff that's not that deep: Halo, Jojo, One Piece. The stuff that really you just more hate the fans than you do the franchise: the DC Cinematic Universe, Dragon Ball Z, Marvel, and My Hero Academia. Thank you, Skitcher. I appreciate it. I'm trying to do more of these. You're just being contrarian if you don't like the following: Bleach, Lord of the Rings, Naruto, and the original trilogy. If you don't like Skyrim or any of the Elder Scrolls, you're just being a sheeple. You're just scared of people on the internet yelling at you. It's the internet. Get some thicker skin. People are going to yell at you for liking stuff. Just get over it. Insufferable. Fortnite, Game of Thrones, Minecraft, and The Last of Us. Go outside. We have Pokemon and the sequel trilogy. And again, this is not saying the quality of all of these franchises. So with that, I'm going to save. Y'all suck. All right, cool. Well, that wraps up the Topic Tuesday of this